Hey, what's up, family? So here we go with this video here. This is going to be almost like a one touching on my last video, which was called Negas, which it touches on how colonizers took something that was so positive and turned it to something negative for their own benefit, which was very ugly. And that's dealing with the Swastika. But here's something a lot of y'all must know. That's something they labeled it, the colonizers and these hateful people, hateful groups, which these hateful groups, hateful groups to this day use it. But what you must realize that it wasn't always called the swastika. It was originally called the hooked, ED, the hooked cross. And this symbol it predates, meaning way before Hitler. It goes thousands upon thousands and thousands of years way before Hitler, that this same symbol was always used for positive outlook, for positive things, such as it meant goodwill, good fortune. It meant good luck. It had a really strong religious belief and faith that people praised to it. Any and everything that had to do with a positive thing. A lot of Hindus and Indians, they would have this symbol in front of their doorsteps a lot. This, as I said, this symbol predates Hitler by many thousands of years. But see, you got to read to know these things. A lot of us, we just see current things in our current day and time, and that's all we know and go by. But you got to look beyond the veil, as some would say, because this symbol is originally called the hooked cross. Now let's get into, just like I said with the video, Negas, how they took something that's very positive, Negas, meaning Ethiopian king, African king, and then they turned it to Negas, right? Same thing with the hooked cross. It meant good fortune, good luck, a religious belief and faith, goodwill, all positive stuff. Now, all of a sudden, when anybody see that symbol, they equate it with hate right away. Bad, evil, all kind of hateful racial stuff. But it wasn't always that. So let's talk about, how did it become something of racial divide and hate? How? When this was such a positive symbol of good luck, good fortune, religious beliefs and background, goodwill, all that. It was so positive. And believe it or not, Indians still use it to this day. They refuse to just give it up, even though Hitler put such an evil, ugly stain on it. But let's get into, how did it become such an evil thing, right? Well, that goes back to an archaeologist by the name of Heinrich Schliemann. And back in 1871, he was so bent on finding the lost city of Troy by Homer's Iliad, by a book. See, that was another thing they said about this guy. He couldn't separate myth and fiction from fact. He was so bent on, I'm going to find this city. I'm going to find this city. Well, through all the many years of searching, in 1871, he actually discovered the archaeological site that was believed to be the city of Troy. He actually found this city, right? And when he found this city, with his blundering of excavation with their big blunt tools and all this destroying stuff, they was able to retrieve quite a bit of artifacts. And on these artifacts, he constantly seen that hooked cross. Remember, it wasn't called a swastika. He constantly seen that hooked cross on a lot of pottery, a lot of stones. He constantly seen it. So he classified that site and the people that would have lived there as a superior race. So he was like, oh, these must have been superior people here. They was like Aryan people. Now, here's the thing about that word Aryan, too. You must always remember. Because when people say the Aryan race, see, when you say Aryan, the original Aryan people were the people that went into India, and they brought a lot of Homeric / religious beliefs to India. And those was the Aryan people. But if you look up the definition for Aryan, and the English definition for it, it simply means noble. Now, you know what noble means: peaceful, humble, goodwill person. That's what it really meant. But with that being said, it didn't matter. Henry Schliemann still took it as these are superior white race. So they must be of an Aryan race. That's how he took it. And because he became so famous because of the archaeological dig that he done, a lot of stuff that he would put in books or put out there, people just followed it. But you got to remember, before Henry Schliemann, the swastika was commonly referred to as the hook cross. Remember that. The swastika was later in the 1920s when that came up. It was the hook cross. And you've seen this symbol everywhere in the world, from Europe to Africa, India, all over the world. It was a known symbol that many cultures use. It was called the hook cross. Once again, I want to keep reiterating what I said. It was a symbol of all positive attributes, such as goodwill, good fortune, good luck, religious beliefs of faith, all good stuff. So when you see that symbol to this day, don't always be just so judgmental, because a person who reads and know history and know about history, you happen to know that was something of a positive thing. It was just unfortunate that a bunch of bad people, aka this guy, Hitler or whatever. I really don't even like saying his name. Let's just say that guy. For now, the rest of the video, I'm gonna say that guy. You know who I'm talking about, because I don't even want to say his name no more. He took that very positive symbol and put a tarnish on it and made it so ugly. Basically, that guy, that's what we're going to say. We're not even going to say his name no more. That guy hijacked the symbol that it was commonly used for something positive, and he turned it to something negative because he said, we want to use it for our race. But isn't it amazing? Before that guy hijacked it, you used to see that symbol on people's houses, companies, and check this out. Even a popular soda that a lot of us like to drink, Coca-Cola. Yes, that symbol used to be on the Coca-Cola bottles. Yes, it was. Do your research. You'll see what I'm talking about. It used to be on the Girl Scout cookies, Boy Scout cookies, food products, and everything. See, a lot of people don't know this. When you do your research, you'll find, wow. But see, if you go in there with a negative frame of mind, you'll be, why would they use that symbol? But remember, that symbol is thousands of years before Hitler. So, I hate that I said his name. That guy. That symbol was used thousands of years before that guy. So just remember, when I say it was used even on the Coca-Cola products, remember, Coca-Cola evolved in the late 1800s, like about 1890, I believe, something like that. 1890 to the early 1900s, before that guy got into power. So that's why it was used. Of course, there was a lot of racial stuff still going on in America and all that, but still, that's why those companies used it, because that guy, you know who I'm talking about, hadn't used it for evil yet, even though it was evil stuff going on in the world. All right. So now back to that guy. So back in 1920, that guy adopted the hook cross, the hooked cross, H-U-U-K-E-D, cross, because it was called the hook cross. So that guy in 1920, he adopted the hook cross. Regardless of its positive meanings, he referred to it with a negative meaning for racial divide and hate, saying that that's going to be their symbol of a superior race. Because he said, the Aryan nation is going to be the superior race. He even had brother and sister with each other, because he said he wanted the bloodline to be pure. And you know what that made when he did silly stuff like that? It made all kind of abominations with the babies, with the people. It was a total disaster. But that guy was a big fool. But anyway, like I said, it's not gonna be a long video. Just give you the history. Don't always be so offended when you see that, because you must know the original history of that was thousands and thousands of years before that guy. And it was a symbol of peace, harmony, positive, goodwill, good fortune, good luck, religious beliefs of faith. It was all positive things. How about a lot of us? Remember people like myself? I remember when I was a kid, I used to watch a lot of the karate movies. And I remember on the karate movies, they used to show that symbol over in Asia. You know, because I was big on the karate movies. Y'all remember the karate movies? Ha, hoo, ha, so, ha, ching man si, ha, Father told me, that you were supposed to be over there, with studying with the, master, You know, they used to kill us with them, the way they talk. Their lips wasn't even moving, even when they laughing. Hey, Ching, yes, master, yes, no, he killed master, all that crap, right? I'm just being silly right now, but I remember when I was a kid, I seen that symbol on a lot of karate movies. So when I started seeing it referred to with that guy, yeah, me not being educated at the time when I was a kid, I was like, man, why are they using that hate thing? But see, I didn't know. It was my ignorance. You know, remember, ignorant does not mean stupid. A lot of us use it like that, but go to my video. It's called just that, ignorant. It means you don't know. So just remember, in closing, what I would say to any and everybody, just like with our video, Negas. They took something, these colonizers took something totally positive and turned it into something very ugly and negative. That's what they're good at doing. Taking someone else's culture, putting their face on it, claiming it for their own, or taking someone else's culture and turning a word or a symbol that is positive and turning it into something ugly and negative. And before you know it, in this current day and time, a lot of us, we just go with that. But here's something I would get a lot of y'all to think about. See a lot of that ugly stain of that swastika in your head, but you should refer to it as the hooked cross. The hooked cross. And it come in many different variations because many different lands used it. Like I said, Africa, Europe, Japan, China, all across the world, people used it. But what was the statement I was going to get to? What a lot of us must remember is do your research, do your homework, as your teacher used to tell you. Because one thing's for certain, as we stuck in our brain with seeing in our day and time the hateful thoughts that come to our mind, let me give you something to think about. Could you imagine anybody, you don't know nobody from 150 years ago. You don't really know what was going on 150 years ago if you don't read about it. 150 years ago, what was going on, you have no clue about if you don't read about it. However, think about this. 150 years from now, they won't know nothing about us if they don't read about it. So just think about that. I want to finish with that thought in your mind. History has always shown how some people change it for their own gain. But it's like a statement I've always said, numbers don't lie. 2 + 2 is 4, no matter where you go in the world. People lie, history lie, whoever's the victor, write the history. And in that swastika case, that guy, for his short period of reign, he was the victor for that short period. That guy, y'all know what I'm talking about. And while he was the victor, he put a real ugly stain on a symbol that meant nothing but positivity. But just remember what I said about the 150 years. You don't know anything about anyone or how they looked 150 years ago if you haven't read about them, seen them in a documentary of some sort. And that goes the same for you right now listening to this. People 150 years from now in the future, they will know nothing about you unless they read about you, see a documentary or pictures on you. So that's why I'm trying to equate that with that symbol. That symbol goes thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. It meant nothing but positive stuff. But in one small error, it took a very ugly guy where that guy changed the image of it. And it made a lot of companies not want to use it no more. They said, oh man, we got to take that symbol down because that guy put such an ugly stain on it. But it was positive. It was a positive symbol. Hey, just thought I'd educate y'all a little bit today. And on that note, hey, as your teacher always told you, do your homework. Remember that thing I said about 150 years before you, 150 years after you. It's something to think about. Don't let history change something to something ugly that was known as something positive. Peace. Subscribe, share, like, comment. Peace.